Get them fired up and get them to the staging lanes, baby, because 8th Mile Apparel is now carrying Going Bracket Racing merch. Hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and much more can be yours today by visiting 8thmileapparel.com. We appreciate each and every one of you guys supporting the Going Bracket Racing YouTube and Facebook pages.
What's up, everybody? Casey and George here with a whole bunch of technical difficulties. That's why we're coming at you at 5:40 Eastern, 4:40 Central, 4:41 actually now Central. April 8th, 2025, episode 190 of the Going Bracket Racing podcast. We got all kinds of stuff going. Computer updates had all of a sudden one program wanted to switch to another program. Clearly, they're not ready to do it yet, so we're working with everything as we go. So we'll see how it goes. April 8th, 2025, episode 190, if I haven't said that already. And, of course, it's always brought to you 100% for free on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, etc. TSR Racing Products, our number one person for our Power Glides, Turbo 350s, 400, 727 transmissions. I got them shims over in the transmission sitting over there on the floor behind me actually right now. Going in the Nova, getting that ready for Matthew Medlin for hopefully a Spring Fling Galleti victory. We'll get in that Spring Fling Vegas a little while later. BRG 3D printed parts. Anything you need, Brian Garrett can make it for you, print it up for you, and send it out to you. High density polymers and plastics, any of those custom parts you need for your race car. To not make them any more, you don't want them to be heavy. You don't want those race cars to be heavy. Call Brian Garrett over there, BRG 3D printed parts. Syntex Printing out there in Temple, Texas. Get you some hats, stickers, shirts, brochures, anything you need for your business. Driven Racing Oil. You see a Driven Racing Oil box actually right there behind me. You can use the code GBR10. Get yourself 10% off your order. No limit. Anything you see on their website, use that code GBR10. Talked to a couple Mopar guys last weekend. We know they use a lot of oil, so they like to save money on that. Save 10% with GBR10 code on the Driven Racing Oil website. Proform Parts, visit proformparts.com for your shop tools, carburetors, starters, alternators, radiators, accessories, all kinds of stuff. They got much, much more over there at proformparts.com. Crew Chief Pro software. Get your dial-ins in order with Crew Chief Pro software and figure out what you're going to run before you know what it's going to run. Gearhead Solutions, our newest partner. Got access to over 1,000 different vendors. Trevor's probably loving me right now because I've been spending a whole lot of time and money with him lately. And actually, I want to tell everybody that, I'm over here in North Carolina, just a little bit south of Raleigh, but he's been sending me stuff, and I'll make the order yesterday, and it'll come today. So 24 hours, it's like 3 or 4 orders in a row I've been getting in 24 hours. So that might just be because of my location, but he's always looking out for everybody. Gearhead Solutions, that's who you want to call to get stuff promptly, to say the least. 8th Mile Apparel, get your GBR shirts over there. And if you want some hats, Dylan Champion's got a whole box of hats, whole mess of hats, as my kid would say. Going to be with him at Galleti Motorsports Park this weekend. Go find Dylan with that blue Camaro and, give him a hard time because you never know what he's going to do at the racetrack. But one thing that he needs to be doing is he needs to be getting rid of some hats and get those out to the people who need some headwear. He'll look at you and say, man, you're looking a little sunburned. You might need a hat. Hey, man, get that sun out of your eyes. Let's see your eyes. Get them sunglasses off. Let's put a GBR hat on.
Pretty solid. Pretty solid. A nice looking hat too, man. One thing I can say is the only way you're going to get the logo that is on that hat is exclusively. You're either going to have to talk to myself, Casey, or Champ at this point My hats aren't quite here yet. I'll be heading to order those here pretty soon, and eventually we'll have hats on hand. To answer Colin's question, we don't generally have any merch on hand with us, so definitely visit 8th Mile Apparel. Get your hoodies, your hats, your t-shirts. Get them fired up. Get them to the staging lanes, baby. That's the best I can do, champ. Champ, man, coming through with the infomercial for you guys there at the beginning of the show, man. So yeah, awesome. It's probably gonna be hot in Galleti too, so you better cover that head up, especially if you got a bald one. Casey.
Hey, it isn't gonna be hot this weekend though. It's gonna. We got one last cold front come through. It's actually supposed to have a freeze warning for tonight. Believe it or not.
So
it's
basically,
it was 90 degrees 2 days ago. In fact, actually, I'm sitting out here in the shop right now, and when I walked out here, I said, "Man, it's hot in here. It's like 78 degrees or something like that in here." And then all of a sudden, I looked over right before we started this show, and it was like 65 already. So hopefully I don't freeze before this thing's over with, because you know how those technical difficulties already set us back a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely seems like you're getting a taste of the Texas, where we're 70 in the day, but almost freezing at night. Frost warnings, just like what we had maybe the last couple of days. We had a frost warning here at my house in northern Texas. So, yeah, man, enjoy that. I'm over it. I don't want to be cold. I'm ready to be warm. Speaking of being warm, and the only race that I'm really going to highlight this week is really and truly the only race that you should tune in and watch on YouTube, wherever you're not going. If you're not there, that is. Okay, if you can get there, you get there. This race is going to be excellent. I'm talking about the 3rd annual CP Racer Appreciation Bash, and we're going to celebrate CP's birthday as well. I'm talking about tens everywhere, top, bottom, tens. Inaugural shootouts, invitation only. I believe is tens. So everything we got going on is gonna be paying out 10. Definitely one of the premier area races out there in Port Allen, Louisiana, home of State Capitol Raceway and of the Crawfish Hole, which I really can't wait to get to tomorrow at 3 p.m. I'm counting down the time as I begin the trip out to Port Allen. But guys, join us out there. Bring your hot rods. Bring yourself. If you're not going to be able to race because your hot rod ain't ready, that'd be the only reason that you shouldn't bring your hot rod. And let's have some fun. This event is definitely going to start off with a bang. I do believe there's a practice tree race as well as a dinner. Maybe that's Wednesday night. Okay, CP just does it big, man. So there's always going to be something to do. I know there's going to be a lot going on. So make sure if you can get there, you can get there to this race, man. That's the only thing I'm going to shout out as far as for a race. GBR will be live on Going Bracket Racing YouTube to live stream it. Special shout out to my mom on her way here to watch my kids over the long event, as well as my wife going to jump in the big rig with me and head on out to Louisiana, Casey.
Yeah, man, you can't go wrong with that crawfish. I can tell you that for a fact. But George, this is what I want to talk about, man. I need to get some more light over here. I thought, see, I'm like directly under one right now, so it looks terrible right now. I'll get that figured out. I've only done it out here a few times, and I'll get that figured out here shortly. But dude, episode 190, and this is something that well, I guess I'll just lay out my title that I decided for it. It's like 3 statements. Young gun dominance, first of all. Second of all, Matt Datis in a dragster, which is something that you've always wanted to see. And the Corey Galleti show as usual. So that's kind of our topics for today as to what we're going to talk about. But where do you want to start, man? Because I really think we need to start about this whole Matt Datis in a dragster, man.
Yeah, man, I think that's definitely at least number 2 that we should touch. Because I have to reiterate something that I told you guys at the very beginning of last stream. If you missed episode 189 of this, what I'm going to call is going to be a series on the Spring Fling Vegas. We just got that much content that we can't wrap it all up into one excellent Tuesday. So if you tune in next week, you might see a surprise guest. I'm just going to throw that out there without naming any names, okay? But one thing I mentioned in that dragster race, Casey, which you alluded to, at the end of it, you said, how many dragsters has this old boy won? When I saw Corey Galleti go 001 in the time trial, I should have said something right then and there. Right then and there, I should have said something. Because it goes a long way when you find the tree during your qualifying, during your time. I don't care what it is. If you find a tree in that round, it could be just slightly red. It could just be 00. Who knows? You kind of start to understand where red light is. And behind that, everybody needs to watch out, especially if your name is one Mr. Dragster, I'm going to dub him. That's Corey Galleti. If there's a dragster that is up for the win, I feel like I got a 45% chance to win if Corey's in my car. So, Corey, man, just drive my car next time. You got it, dude.
Yeah, man. The Corey, I mean, I want to say every couple years he wins a new one. I think that's literally been his progression ever since he got old enough to drive in the big cars. Was he just wins him a dragster, sells the old one, wins him a dragster, sells the old one. I want to say Chris said that's his fourth one that he's won.
Yep.
Because like you said, I put it out there and I said, man, like, what is this, 3 or 4? I mean, Corey probably has the record most dragster wins as far as an event goes. I know Chad Duke got 2 of them last year, I want to say. But one of them was a raffle. So not the same.
Not
Still
the
got
same.
2 though, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the Corey Galleti just never can bet against him, just like always. I mean, you just can't. The question I have is, with this season starting off so strong for Corey Galleti in the big money bracket racing side of things, does he change his mind? Because, you know, we had him on this show maybe 4 or 5 episodes ago, and Corey said his plans were to go NHRA racing. So if you're Corey, what's your plan here?
Yeah, Casey, man. I guess if I see him this weekend in Port Allen, which is pretty probable, I'm going to ask those exact questions. Hey, man, you still think about getting out? Because not only did he win a dragster, man, he was down deep in just about everything, including the big go, and then he runnered up a 60 grander on the very last day. So that was a heck of a Vegas for Corey.
Yes.
That is, unless you went to the casinos, Corey, and I'll leave that one alone. You could have went to them casinos, man. But what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Except for your efforts on that racetrack, that's going to get broadcasted out to the world, man, by way of 1GBR. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, after it's all said and done, obviously the money thing, the money aspect, Corey probably won more money between the dragster and the run and the doing well in the million, and then running up the 60. I mean, realistically, he probably won more money in that event if you total it up than he could do winning every single NHRA race he would enter this year. That being said, like you and I talk about, the NHRA side of things, that's what brings you sponsorships. So now you're not running on your own dime. So I do wonder if that is the route that he's attempting to take. I also wonder if there is a path for Corey Galleti to potentially be a pro stock driver, because he's still young and he's already made his name. All it takes is to get over there.
Or I'd like to see him the most, if you want me to be honest. And one of the maybe Dallas Glenn's partner. How about that? They're both right out here in the Texas area. I want to say Dallas Glenn might be from Plano, just right up the street from me. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me there. But I know it's somewhere in the northern Texas, within 30 minutes away from me. So I would love to see CG in a pro stock, and I'm sure he'd like to be in one as well. So, side note, I did see him in a door car as well. And another side note, I was shocked that American car didn't get a motor and a tranny in the middle of the night and wound up racing the rest of the weekend like he threatened in that interview. But Casey, man, let's keep moving, because you mentioned Matt Datis. I said we were going to talk about him second. Let's talk about him third. Gage Burch. Holy Gage Burch in the beginning of this whole thing for the first 60K. And really and truly, that's the day that I got to watch the most. Just because there's just nothing going on but work. It was going on the whole time. While I was taking care of business, in one screen I could watch the rounds and hear it going on. On the others, I could do my job. You know what I mean? Like the majority of us did on Thursday. But I feel like that was Thursday. I could be wrong. It might have been Wednesday. But holy Gage Burch. Casey, what are your thoughts?
I mean, Gage Burch seemingly just, I feel like he's the Scotty Richardson of that younger generation. Just He won't race for a while. You won't see him for a while. I mean, maybe he's doing stuff locally, but then he shows up to a big money race just to take home a check, and then you won't see him again for a while. I mean, that kid's just he's probably, I mean, it's between him and Corey Galleti for their generation. I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth on him because Corey, I've said a million times that I think Corey's going to be the greatest of all time if he keeps it up. That being said, Gage is giving him a run for his money because if you look at sheer percentages of races entered and races won, I feel like he's got to be above Corey on that. If you just look at, and like I said, I don't know what he's doing locally. But at the end of the day, anytime Gage Burch shows up, he takes home a check with him. Don't forget, last year at Rockingham, Gage basically won every single round there was to win, period.
Right.
So it's hard to say, man. But I don't know. Gage will be Gage, I guess.
Right. It's true. Gage is the only one who can gauge of his success. No pun intended, or pun intended, whichever way you'd like to put it. If the kid is entered into the race, see you at about 14 cars. I said it on the chat. Everybody, you can go back and look. If somebody doesn't knock off Gage Burch, we might as well stop racing. It's going to take a hero run to do so. I think the car was dialed like 612 all day long. You and I both know whether it's up or down, Gage could either go under or he could get to one above because it's seemingly that's how he races. You know, he can get to his number, know that he's a little bit faster, know that he's just enough slow to take the cookie. So, excellent performance by him in that white car. Man, that little white X Super Stocker is bad to the bone.
Yep. And if you ever want to know anything more about Corey Galleti or Gage Burch, we've interviewed them on this very show. And guess what? The next guy we're going to talk about, he needs to be next. Matt Datis. You need to hit us up. We need to get you on GBR, learn your story, and learn what makes Matt Datis tick. Because seemingly now, it's dragsters, evidently. So I don't know what's going to happen now. I know Matt Datis is a diehard door car guy, but I saw him in a dragster. I saw him doing good. I've never seen him in a dragster before.
Yeah, I think that Joker was running like 450s too, wasn't it?
I mean, I don't remember what it was running, but I do know he was deep.
Yeah. I feel like it was in the 450s, and I could be wrong, but man, I feel like it was in the 450s. Say no more. I got a cell phone number here. I'll hit him up. We got to get him on the show. It should have happened quite some time ago. I believe I got his number from the last time we went to PRI, Casey. The only time I'd ever been. And just been so busy, with everything that I hadn't remembered the fact that I have his number in here until you actually starting to talk about it. So we're going to have to make that happen for sure. But it was good seeing him in a dragster. Probably something different, a little change of speed for himself.
Well, it turns out Matt Datis is good in anything. Yeah. That's what I took from that entire deal. I only really got to watch, like I watched pretty hard on the first 30K. I didn't really get to watch that hard on the others because I was working on my own program and was working like crazy to get stuff in order. Went to Rockingham, got rained on, the only storm cell in the entire state, typical my luck, on a test and tune day. So, and then of course now I'm working on the Nova. So ultimately I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it, but the rounds that I did watch, Matt Datis was doing typical Matt Datis and letting go good and going down there and going dead on. But what I did want to know was, I wonder if he settled in a little more. That would have been the first day. I wonder if he settled in a little more in the driver's seat and got a feel for it, because I feel like the round that he lost, had he been in a door car, I felt like he could have won that round. If I'm thinking of the correct one, I think it was a scenario he ended up under, and I felt like had he been in a door car, he would have won that round.
He would have known to get behind. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it's about feel, man. I mean, when you're used to going 6.0s, 620s in that range like he typically is, first of all, door cars have 4-wheel disc brakes. Second of all, you're talking about 40 more mile an hour. A dragster will slide versus stopping. And you don't want to get too aggressive on brakes on a dragster because you'll spin them around, or they'll set down funny, or you'll wobble the front end. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff that can happen. And being new to that, because as far as, I'm sure that's not the first time Matt Datis ever sat in a dragster, but I know that he hasn't sat in them a lot as far as I've seen. Sure. I know he's done all of his winning in door cars. So I do wonder if the comfort factor played into any of that, him not going deeper that particular day than he did.
Yeah, and I think that's a good call out, Casey. The next thing I want to call out here, and kind of to piggyback off what you're talking about, is Matt Datis in a dragster. Is that the result of the Spring Fling Vegas, maybe even all Spring Fling events, that says I think you can only go down the track in one car per round, so you got to switch the cars up? Because
Yeah,
I
that's-
feel like, you know, Datis is in his door car, but Datis might have been in, or excuse me, Burch is in his door car. You know, it's probably Burch's door car if Matt Datis had anything to say about it. But I'm wondering, is the race structure the reason why we seen Datis in a dragster? Maybe somebody's like, hey man, you want to wheel my dragster as one of your entries because you need another car?
Yeah, it's required actually. That was a new rule that that the Spring Fling came out with this year, which I really like. I like that you can't go down the track in the same vehicle twice because, in theory, well, first of all, it doesn't give you two hits at the tree back to back for the most part in the same type of ride. Where obviously, for example, if you red light in the first entry and you run it all the way through, you know that's what you're running the very next round. Doesn't matter what car it is.
Yeah.
Number two, you stage them differently. You do a burnout differently, obviously. You adjust for day to night differently in them. There's a lot of stuff that's different. Obviously, you drive the stripe differently in them. You can't be as aggressive in a dragster in a fast dragster as you can in a door car, unless you're Jeff Serra, who can seemingly do that without a problem.
No matter the car. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Most people can't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, that's obviously why you saw Matt Datis in a dragster. I want to say if it was purple, I can't remember now. I've seen so much stuff lately, I can't even remember. But if it was purple, I want to say it might have been JP's dragster, or at least the dragster that he used to own, if he doesn't anymore.
Right.
I'm just interested. I would like to know Matt's thoughts on the differences between driving those, because you just don't see him in them very often. And you see him winning indoor cars as much as anybody wins in dragsters. So I wonder, will he go that route? I mean, bare minimum, he's won enough money through himself and Gage Burch. I'm sure he has the money to go buy him a dragster if he wants to.
Probably a few. Let's be honest. He could put one of those super stockers out there for trade and probably come out like a wild man.
I want to say that Matt Datis actually had a hand in, I want to say American might have built junior dragsters for like a split second. And I think Matt and his dad might have been the ones who either finished those out or may have built the entire things.
Yeah. I know that's 100% true. I know he worked in pretty hard on American's junior dragster program. I want to say, I can't remember if this is 100% true or not, but he might have had something to do with that super gas looking junior dragster that comes out as well. And if he doesn't, well, I'm giving you credit for it, Matt, because I don't know who did. So I'm gonna blame you, Matt Datis, for that. What every kid probably would have liked to have, other than a dragster, would be a freaking roadster. That's junior dragster. But yeah, man, definitely have heard multiple times that he worked on those juniors. If he was building them or putting them all together, whatever the case may be, it was Datis behind it.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we can't. We obviously have to talk about the million. You know, we got to talk not just about the winner, but the fact that it paid, I want to say, $450,000 to the winner. Record number of entries, 384, 394?
384, you got it.
So 384 entries. Obviously, we all know Cooper Chun, the winner of that entire deal. I posted that on our Facebook page today. Raise your hand if you'd let Cooper Chun drive your race car. Serious question, man. Well, I guess let's talk about his stats first, because I heard his average reaction time. Our buddy Troy Abercrombie texted me and he said, dude, Cooper's reaction time averaged 006. So think about that. To even average 006 over the course of 7 or 8 rounds, whatever it is, you can't miss it and be worse than 10, because the math doesn't work.
Man, I want to add in this too, because it's something that I don't think it's overlooked, but it definitely shouldn't go without being said here. Under pressure, averaging 006. In the million, averaging
Vegas.
006. In Vegas, the best of the best. Every time you stage up, somebody is probably trying to throw a hero run at everybody next to whoever is at the... I don't care if they staged up against one of them showgirls. They was going to try to be perfect. Okay, you have to understand that. A showgirl could have put her foot on the doggone beam, and whoever was next to him messed around, go double on one red, trying to be perfect. You understand? On a buy run. Okay, so to average 006 while under that amount of pressure, and while racing is going on all time of night, and Cooper Chun is just now 21. Go watch the last episode if you didn't watch it. I told you the young guns were going to come in swinging hard. I told you. All right, I might have picked the wrong young gun to win it, but the ages of 3 of the winners is 21, 23, and 25, with one of them winning the $1 million, the $450,000 payday. So I know Cooper Chun just a little bit, not personally, but we have Roblox characters, and I used to play this game called Roblox Drag Racing anyway. We used to stage. I'm telling you that his staging procedure is exactly the same in real life as it is on that dang game. That's how many times I played against him on that game. It's the same.
Hey, man. All I got to say is it doesn't matter if people throw down a hero run against you because Cooper Chun's superhero.
Oh, man, I'm going to tell you what, shoot. And being 006, Casey, man, I don't... Maybe we're just going to have to ask him. We're going to have to ask him, man. I don't know. I can't fathom that. Can I do it on my practice tree sitting right here? Can I 006 average my practice tree? Yeah, I can do it. But under pressure, and then make the right decision whether to get behind or go one above or go dead on, because that car wasn't driving itself, you know.
No, and don't forget last year, I can't remember if it was TB race warm up or the OG Million warm up. He flew into St. Louis, drove Chris Sullivan's Super Comp car, and ended up winning, I want to say, the dragster race or something, or some warm-up race. Maybe it was a money race. I don't remember. I want to say it was a dragster race, though. I feel like they won that Folk car there, but I can't remember. But, yeah, so, I mean, and Troy Abercrombie has been telling me, Troy obviously been on this show, I think might be possibly subscriber number 1 for all of Going Bracket Racing platforms.
Possible.
He's been telling me about Cooper Chun since we started this, which if you think about it, Cooper's only 21. Troy might have been telling me about that since he was 16 years old, dude. Like, we've been around that long, so it might be that long, but he's been telling me forever. He's like, dude, you got to look at this guy. You got to look at this guy. He's from Washington, so nobody where I'm at, I'm in North Carolina, dude. You know, like, that's about as far as you can get away. So people didn't know about him until recently. But, man, I was seriously thinking once I saw him win that race, I said, man, does Cooper Chun seriously need to think about potentially either moving to the East Coast or finding somebody to stock a car for him, or finding some sort of person with several cars for him to drive for, fly and drive on the East Coast? Because that could be a lucrative thing for him and someone else.
Yeah, honestly, wherever they're racing the most, I don't care if it's East, West. I know East got a lot going on. You got a couple of events.
We got triple threat.
You got triple threat this weekend. You know, there's a lot of events there. Like, to your point, it really, I don't know how far you guys are out of Florida, but I don't think it's that far. And then, you know, the OG's going to be down there. The mini million is going to be down in Gainesville again. So, yeah, man, that's a pretty good area to just post up. And Bristol can't be that far away either. You know what I mean?
No, in North Carolina, the Raleigh area in general is a really good area to be in, because you can be at Darlington in a couple hours. You can be at VMP in a couple hours. You can be at Bristol in like 3 or 4 hours. All of our local races are for $5,000, sometimes more.
Yeah.
Like this weekend, legitimately, you can race at Galleti this weekend. You have 2 $5,000ers for a local bracket race, or you go to VMP and I think they're 10, 20, 10 or 20, 10, 20 or something like that for triple threat. Obviously the spring Fling Galleti's coming up anytime now. So, you know, the end of this month, I mean, it's something Cooper needs to seriously, obviously picking up your life and moving to the old other side of the world. I know what that's like. You know what that's like. It's hard. I don't really suggest doing it unless you really want to do it. But I do know now that you've won the Spring Fling Million, it's something that you should, I mean, anybody's going to answer your phone call. They see your name calling that, has a lot of cars. And I'd say there's plenty of people that would be willing to let you fly in and drive their stuff.
Yeah, the opportunities there.
This might be.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say this might be the newest Kyle Cotrera.
Or we can do a few. We can do a few. There's been some guys that get on some serious runs at that. Being able to do it on the big stage and being out in the mix to do so. We could be looking at the next. Heck, man. What's old boy's name that won all the races that year? Casey. Feel
Jeff
like it was 20. Nah. Besides him, one of the go. Why can't I call the guy's name, man? Patton. Hunter Patton.
I was gonna say you need me to just start naming people.
I was gonna say just start naming them, but hey, man, Hunter Patton had one of the years that, man, I put that up against anybody. Hunter Patton had a run going on there.
Yeah,
but
I mean that was literally competing with Kenny Underwood's greatest year ever. I mean, there's still people who go back and forth who had the best year ever, Hunter or Kenny, and I mean, it's still toss up. Cooper could be setting the bar right now. We don't even know it.
I have a feeling we're gonna find out a little bit more about Cooper Chun real soon, Casey. Either by way of watching him on a racetrack or getting him on this show live. Could be next Tuesday. Who knows? I don't know. What I do know is, number one, I'm thirsty and I need a bottle of water. So I'm about to go grab one of those while you guys listen to some words from our good friends over at Proform and BRG. So hang in there, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll be right back to you. BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts are able to provide you with whatever you desire to enhance your drag racing operation. Items like safety belt magnets, nitrous bottle holders, and even quick release delay box mounts are able to be obtained from BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts. Have a look at top-selling items such as helmet hooks and steering wheel hooks, which are proven to make it easier to maneuver throughout your race car. You can contact BRG Motorsports 3D printed racing parts at telephone number 765-729-1177.
Innovation never sleeps at Proform, and we're making our popular Black Race Series carburetors even better by adding new features that will set them apart from the competition. Some of the newest features include a newly designed main body with contoured Venturas for better airflow and a new inside and outside two-step down leg boosters for increased atomization and better throttle response. Also, newly designed fuel bowls with increased internal baffling for better fuel control and the lower fuel ramp for reduced turbulence. There are also some new upgrades to point out. The fuel bowls now both include nitrofill floats, and the throttle base plate now has slabbed shafts for better airflow. These new features, combined with a fully adjustable high-flow main body with screw-in air bleeds, billet metering blocks, high-performance billet throttle base plate, and aluminum fuel bowls with sight glass windows, makes for a great street strip carburetor that packs a punch.
We're back. We're back. I just was looking at that, admiring that Proform carburetor. I got one over there on that Nova, actually. And I forgot how nice it looked up there on the screen. As always, we got to thank those people who always are keeping this show going to you for free. Again, TSR Racing Products, BRG 3D Printed Parts, Syntex Printing, Driven Racing Oil. Use that code GBR10. Get yourself 10% off that order. Anything on their website. Proform Parts. Again, talking about those carburetors, Crew Chief Pro Software, Gearhead Solutions. You want some stuff quick, you want the right stuff, then you need to call Gearhead Solutions. And of course, as always, George likes to say, your ad here. I'm looking at it up here on the screen. It's right in that general area that you guys can't see, but you can see it on your screen. Your ad here. Those guys will take care of you. Isn't that what you say, George? I helped you out. I did
Something
your
like
part
that.
for you.
Something like that, man. Your ad here, those guys, George and Casey, I'm telling you what, they take care and give the greatest customer service in the sport. I'm telling you, bar none. We got the ability to reach out to the greatest followers in the sport as well. Because without the GBR community, we're not doing the show anymore. That's it. So thanks guys for being part of the GBR community. As I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I started to feel a little weird there for a second and come to realize that I didn't take my medicine for the day. Not good. So needless to say, I'll be back in about 15 minutes to normal. Casey, as we continue this conversation and to talk about all things Spring Fling Vegas, because in 3 weeks we're gonna be talking about Spring Fling Galleti. I feel like it's a 3-week barrier away from us, maybe a little less than that. But as it pertains to Vegas, Casey, you and I always talk every single year after this event on what we feel like the remainder of the season, just based off what I consider the biggest event we've had thus far this year. What type of a temperature check do you give, even if you had to go from a grade scale A through F? Of course, you know how to grade a paper, Casey. Give it a grade, and then where are we going here in 2025?
I mean, dude, what can you say whenever there's a record number of entries into an expensive race on the West Coast that you would have to be an A+ with extra credit on top of it, right? I mean, that's all you could be. That's all you can say, because ultimately this was the most highly participated Spring Fling Vegas of all time. And in the main event, not like we always expect to hear that year after year. You know, you sell a few extra kick cards into your surrounding races, people trying to race their way in because they're excited. But to see a race that's, I want to say $2,000 to enter, have a record number of entries, that tells you everything you need to know, man. I'm very interested seeing that, what this year's OG Million will be like, because we know there was a record number there last year. I always say the Spring Fling Vegas is the gauge as far as what we're going to expect throughout the year. And I don't see anything other than positivity. There's nothing more positive than starting your big money bracket racing series off with a record number of competitors. And especially this would be a totally different story if the Spring Fling Galleti had a record number, because that's an easier place to get to. Most of us are in this area. Most of us are from the Midwest to the East Coast. But to have a record number of competitors all the way out in Las Vegas, I mean, people went out of their way to support that race. So that means people are confident in the economy and confident with what's going to happen in 2025.
I'm going to say something else, too, that I said in the live stream was newsworthy. The moment that I heard this was happening, and I'm going to come back to another topic now that's jogging my memory about you guys who announced that race. I ain't going to forget about you either, because that was excellent. But one thing that I heard over the PA system flowing through the Spring Fling Bracket Races YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it, Race the Flings, was that one Bug McCarty out of McCarty Auto Parts held his own raffle to put not one, but 2 racers into the main event. The racer got to keep half of the proceeds of the win if they won, whatever they won. And then Bug McCarty was going to donate the other half to St. Jude. My hat's off to you, Bug McCarty. That's probably that's a large gesture. One of the biggest I've seen in bracket racing, just over the airways and being promoted and talked about to seemingly 3,000 people all weekend, live on YouTube. And all the people beyond that race will get to see that, man. So, hey, man, shop Bug McCarty Auto Parts. Man, I used to talk about Rock Auto. Forget Rock Auto. I don't know if y'all even carry the same stuff. I don't know. But I know Bug McCarty, according to the announcers, has a real big yard full of stuff that he can go and find parts for you. So you're looking for something, hit up Bug McCarty, man. That's what I got. I had to say that, Casey. Bart Nelson chimes in and gives us his average at the OG when he won it. You want to take a guess what it was?
Oh, it was, I mean, it might have been around Cooper Chun's average, dude. That was the best showing I've ever seen at the OG Million for sure.
And I feel like I do. Thanks for your comment, Bart. I do feel like we talked about that, Casey, on the show. Bart Nelson's average was 005 at the OG Million.
And he needed it because he had Gage Burch in the finals, and Gage, I want to say, was 12 total and lost. Or 8, right. Maybe been 8 total.
Less than that. I think it was like 8-3.
Yeah.
What? 8?
Yep.
3 total?
So Bart Nelson, man, what he's saying is, hey, Bart, I mean, I assume the reason you're saying this is old guy's rule, right? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, Bart, on another hand, he called you old. I'm not going to do that. I know we race in the same area. Listen, just click about 20 in next time you see me at XRP.
What he's saying,
I'm defending you right now. Huh?
What Bart's saying is Scotty Richardson was right. And you know what I'm talking about. And Gage knows what I'm talking about, too.
Little danglers. Hey, man, you're good on that. TJ Phipps chimes in here, too, Casey, before I get out of here. He says, how much luck is involved in averaging 006 through 9-ish rounds and averaging, over 18-ish hours with Vegas wind weather changes? I'm not going to say that was lucky at all. Not off the tree. I'm not going to say that's luck. No. The
tree is pure skill. That's the only part about the race, that the tree is skill and being comfortable in the car and knowing what you need to set up and knowing how you feel. And if you're feeling tired or if you're feeling amped up because you're running Bart Nelson or Gage Burch or somebody like that who you expect to cut your throat. That's the one thing. When somebody hits the tree and they average 006 through an entire race, he wasn't just 006 once. He wasn't perfect once. He was averaging that throughout the entire race. That's skill.
Yeah, man, that's definitely skill. I'm not going to say not a single word about luck here. I would, if I had to think how many times he touched his delay box after when he found the tree. I don't know if it was in time runs. I don't know if it was first round, but obviously he was on the tree to average 006. I think his worst light was like 12 or 13, something like that. I don't know. But I would say he probably didn't touch his delay box for the rest of the day after the fact. Did not touch it. He was just in that type of a zone that if you get in that zone, you're going to be hard. Ask Bart Nelson, man, you get into that zone, it's almost like you can't do any wrong. All you got to do is race the other lane. Just see where you are. He's going to get you.
Sometimes,
let him get you then, but he's going to be under.
Sometimes when you have all your stuff figured out, if you know you're on the tree, you actually don't need to race the other lane. You need to look and make sure he's not broke on the starting line
and let her eat,
and just drive it to the other end. I mean, at the end of the day, I heard Johnny Ezel say that what he's learned was 15 total wins most races, almost always. Mm-hmm. If you average 15 total, you'll win most of the time. So if you figure that out and you can figure you can be 6 or better on the tree, as long as you can go dead on in any fashion, it doesn't matter if that dude's broke on the starting line, because if you're going dead on, ain't no need to lift. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, if you're averaging that on the tree, you can dial it saying, I think I'm going to run, say, 450 with a 2 or whatever, but maybe the wind will calm down and I'll go 50 or I'll go 49. And you can put it on that 49 because you have room for that. You don't need, people forget, you don't need to hold numbers and be tricky at the finish line. If you're better at dialing the car and going dead on and hitting the tree, you don't need to do that. And that's why, again, I go back to this, I feel like once a month. That's why I feel like I was so robbed at the spring fling last year whenever Jeff Serra's car broke, because we all know how Jeff drives. He might hold 2, he might hold 20, but you can bet he's holding. And you can also bet he's going to hit the tree. And him racing Luke was a guy that particular day he was hitting the tree and running the number. And I wanted to see, could Jeff Serra's strategy utilize Luke's consistent car and Luke making those dead on runs to still be a little bit better than Luke.
Yep.
And that's
Yep.
what I wanted to see so bad. I wanted to see that so bad. And to be honest with you, I think both of them probably wanted to see it just as bad as I did, because I know Jeff went into that race thinking he was going to do this and beat Luke. And I know Luke was going to go into that race saying, Jeff can't beat me. And I know for a fact Luke Bogacki wanted to see what the outcome of that would be, because he would determine who knows how many strategies off that.
Yeah, I think I agree with that 100%, Casey. It's just one of the rounds that we wanted to see. Also, at the same time, that Gage Burch split out there in Rockingham, or split and
Yes.
quit, whatever they did. I would have wanted to see that one too. But yeah. Thanks for all the questions, man. That's a great question out of both of you, and great comment out of Bart Nelson, man. And I have to imagine we'll see Mr. OG Bart Nelson out there in St. Louis again this year. Might be an interesting matchup to see Bart Nelson versus Cooper Chun.
Hey, man,
Who knows
one
what will
thing's-
happen in that match?
One thing's for sure, though, is neither one of those guys, their names are both etched on those wins forever. And
Forever.
that's what matters. They could not do anything forever, and they're still two of the baddest dudes that's ever done it because of that one race. It doesn't matter. They were absolute best that day, and no one could take it away from them.
Yep, I went off on a tangent a little bit too, and you gave them an A+. I give them the same. It's an A+ start to the year, with the record count of what we had in attendance at that event, to the way it was ran, barring water getting on the track there for a while, and I don't know how many oil
In
downs
the
I've
desert.
seen. Good.
In the desert.
Yeah, like what? Where are you guys in the desert? Yeah, okay, it's raining. But on top of that, gee, many Christmas, I don't understand how many
aliens.
cleanups that I saw, Casey. I saw cleanup after cleanup after cleanup after dude, and then A++ to the announcing crew, to the camera crew that brought it live. Man, that was fun to watch, just because of, you got Big Jed, you got JJ. I feel like the other guy's name is Steve. But man, don't get me lying. And me and names, we just don't mix in the first place. But you three, you guys did a heck of a job on the mic, man. A heck of a job.
Yeah, anytime you get the Penningtons involved, that's two of the best right there. Ryan Gleghorn, he's still one of my favorites also. He'll even say too, he's like, Jed is the gold standard, period, and who would expect anything but his son to be just as good as him?
It's a true statement. It's 100% true. And hey, we got to watch him live out his dream. We knew Vegas was one of the spots he really wanted to knock off his bucket list. Shout out to Pops, Big Jed, was who I'm talking to, for helping get it done, letting him wheel the red machine out there. And nah, man, I don't have anything else I really could do. I don't have a single point that I could take away from the effort that I saw in Vegas. You guys did a great job all the way around. Good job, racers, for showing up to support it. Yeah. But next up is a little bit, some tens for 100. I love the number. Every area that has a bracket racing presence needs to hold tens for $100 to enter. 10 Tuck has been going on for I don't know how long at Beach Bend, which I gotta shout that out too. All you tracks out there in the south, I think it's southeast, not southeast, Division 3, I think, but maybe North Central Division, that got hit with all that rain, and your tracks
Beacon
are underwater like that, man.
Yeah, you can race a jet ski there.
Yeah, dude. So I think this might be Beach Bend's second time going through quite a flooding, and I know the first time they got all their high dollar equipment up or taken care of. However, you got to prep a track to be ready for that much water to sit that long.
It looked to me like, I don't know how big their tower is there, but it looked to me to be 10 foot high. Like, where do you even put anything at that point? What are you going to do? Because that's going to go all throughout the town. I guess you just tell anybody who has a flatbed trailer, come load whatever up you can and get it as high as possible, I guess, is all I can think of. I don't know what you do.
I don't know what to do there either. But prayers out to you guys. Number one, to get your tracks back underway as quickly as you can, the way you can return to business operations as fast as possible. Keep hot rods going down that racetrack. Go ahead.
And the problem is what people don't understand is the silt that comes with all of that water. That's the problem, because when that water goes away, when it all dissipates, you still have all the mud and sand and everything left behind that you got to deal with to get all off the track. That's what we saw with Bradenton during that hurricane and everything. It's not just a, oh, let's dry it out process. It's a big undertaking. Sometimes you need, bobcats in there to get stuff out.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
anybody who can help them, that'd be, if you have equipment or something that can help them, you got tractors or anything like that, I'm sure they would appreciate it.
I was kind of going to say the same thing. It'd be a good time for anybody splitting through that area that preps tracks or does anything, sweeping tracks, whatever the case may be, washing them. Man, stop by and give those guys a hand, because they're probably going to need it, They do what we love to do and why you're in business in the first place. So it's always good to give back sometimes,
That's right, man. But no,
Yeah,
other
man.
than that, good week for bracket racing, man. It's always a good week for bracket racing, but it's a good week for bracket racing with everything we've had going on. A lot of positivity. Looking forward to seeing what happens in the rest of 2025. That's for sure.
Yeah. Again, starting with this CP Racer Appreciation Bash coming up. This is my market. This is where I fit in as a market, as when I go racing. If I wasn't behind the camera, I have a feeling me and Mo would be on our way to this track to race and not just to record. So get in where you fit in, guys. This is bracket racing. This is what we do. This is what we love. And man, I can't wait to get to Port Allen. That's all I got to tell you. Casey, man, what you got in closing as we get ready to get up out of here?
Just reiterate what you said, man. I don't know what's going to happen with VMP Triple Threat this weekend. If they race, it's supposed to be on Motor Mania, but if it rains out, which it's supposed to rain at my house, you never know what's going to happen this time of year until the day comes. But it's going to be cold. I imagine it's going to be cold in Virginia and probably raining up there. But if you don't have Motor Mania to watch, obviously you can watch GBR Live. Watch GBR Live anyway. Check in on what's happening down there at that CP race. George will be over there filming. If you don't like how it's done, put some mean comments over there in the chat. Say, George, get it together, man. He'll fix it for you.
I do my best. But appreciate everybody joining in. Appreciate all the comments. Remember to like and share. We'll try to get the links out as fast as we can. But if your race car is ready to go, let's get on over to Port Allen, Louisiana. Let's have a good time. And stop by and see me. I'm going to be on the scaffold probably 17 hours a day. So stop by and say what's up.
He'll be there.
Come hang with me at the base. All right. I should have loaded my canopy up. I just set it up at the bottom. And anybody who want to come hang out, just come hang out at the top end with me. So, all right. I'm done. Guys, thanks for joining us. See you next Tuesday. Hit the like and subscribe. Peace out.